everybody. So today I want to talk about fullness and being satisfied, and it has to do with intuitive eating. And what I mean about it is that it's very different if we are full from food, but if we are not satisfied, we, like, especially in eating disorder recovery, we still have the food obsessions, we still might be triggered to overeat and all these kind of things. So to be as a normal eater and practice intuitive eating, I think it's very important to after a meal be also full but also satisfied. Yeah, so I was talking with one woman last week, and we discussed about the same subject, so that's why I'm making this video. And she told me that in the mornings she was eating oatmeal, and it was kind of like a plain and boring meal, and she would eat it because it was safe. It was something she had done for quite some time now, but at the same time she didn't feel satisfied after this meal, and that's why I recommended her to start eating something different. And really, like, ask yourself, if all the food is available for me right now and I can eat it, then what do I really want to eat? And this is the question I asked myself when I didn't know, like, what do I want to eat, or is it do I want to eat healthy because I think it will help me to maintain my weight or feel less guilty. But if I just ask myself and be very honest, if all food is available for me right now, it doesn't matter if it's breakfast, lunch or dinner or snack, it doesn't have to be healthy or unhealthy or whatever, just all foods are available, like unconditionally for me, then what is it that I really want to eat right now? And then I would eat this food. Or if I didn't have it, I went to the shop and I bought this food and I ate this food. And this kind of mindset I had in my recovery, because I came from orthorexia, and in my previous diet, like, people were saying, like, you can eat like as much fruits and vegetables as you want, and you can feel full and satisfied, and you can eat so much food, and you won't gonna gain any weight or anything, and because there's like so much fiber and water, and it's so healthy, and such a big volume food you can eat, so you can still like lose weight or maintain your weight and eat so much food. But in my eating disorder, I discovered that we require like something else to feel like full. We don't require only the physical sensation of fullness, like my stomach is like physically full or even stuffed. At the same time, we require a sense of like satisfaction after the food, or satiety, or feel like satisfied after we ate the meal. Like, you know the saying of that, this hit the spot, or this is really like what I craved, or you make the like a sound like this is so satisfying, or like something like that. You need this as well in your eating, and this is where the food you eat, it doesn't only make you full, but it will make you feel satisfied. So in my experience, like, yes, you need like fiber and fruits and vegetables, like all like healthy foods, but the food you eat also has to be satisfying. And if you constantly try to override your cravings, what you want to eat, then your hunger can become so out of control, so out of balance, and you can develop like binge eating and bulimia, like I had. I was following this high carb, low fat vegan diet, and I was eating like 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day of like fruits and vegetables, and really like healthy foods, and so many calories, right? But still, I could eat like a whole blender full of smoothie and feel physically so stuffed, so uncomfortable, so bloated, but I still never felt like satisfied with food. I always like craved more and more and more. Yeah, but then after my in my recovery, I started to let go of my fear foods. And previously I was restricting fats, so I was so afraid to eat fats. But in my recovery, I started to eat fats again. I started to eat unlimited, like nuts and seeds. I started to cook with oils. I started to include like coconut milk in my like food preparation. Whatever I crave, basically, regards to the fat content, or even like carbs or protein or anything. And I feel like if I was eating I tried to eat like the low fat diet because of restrictive reasons. It wasn't for the reasons of like, oh, I really don't crave as much fat. It was more like restrictive reasons. And that's why I never felt satisfied, because the food didn't contain what I really wanted to have, but it was what I think I should have. So, and also for you, maybe you come from another direction. You weren't maybe restricting fats, but maybe you were restricting carbs. So for you to eat so you are satisfied after a meal, maybe you need to add carbs back to your, or actually not maybe, but I'm like sure you need to have carbs back into your diet. And to be satisfied with foods, we need to eat everything. In my experience, we need to eat protein, we need to eat fats, we need to eat carbs. And during recovery, maybe you feel that, oh, you eat like too much carbs or too much fat or too much junk food or whatever. I went through the same thing, but my experience is that if I allowed myself to have everything I really want and don't have any rules around foods, what I can eat and cannot eat, and any like good and bad foods mindset, then after a while my hunger or my body just learned what foods I like, what foods I don't like, what foods make me feel good, what foods don't make me feel good, what foods I don't know, to have in any given moment, or what foods will be the best to satisfy me at any given day or any given situation. My body just learned from my experience because I didn't restrict anything. But if I would have restricted, my body would have never learned what is really the best for my body. Yeah, so after a meal, you definitely have to feel also satisfied. And what I mean about feeling satisfied as well is that I don't mean only eating like junk foods or processed food or like this highly palatable foods or very sugary foods or something. Yes, they can, especially in recovery, make you feel more satisfied if you have like restricted them for so long time. Definitely they will finally be like, oh my god, I miss this food like so much, and you want to eat it like more and more each day. But now, as being like fully recovered, I also have experienced that I don't want to eat junk food or processed food to feel satisfied. And sometimes, for example, I can draw like an example of my boyfriend, because my boyfriend has always been normal eater. And I remember like one lunch time or something, I wasn't very hungry, so I craved some ice cream. I was like, oh, let's just have like ice cream. We had some ice cream in our fridge, but my boyfriend was hungry. And I remember like I told him like, oh, let's just have ice cream and maybe eat like later or something. And yeah, and he told me that no, like it doesn't make him like feel full or like satisfied, and he wants to have like a normal regular meal. So this is very interesting for me, and this shows that even if you eat like ice cream, you can get like plenty of like calories from ice cream, but also your body needs nutrition. And if you are like intuitive eater, you intuitively want to get also nutrition. It's not only about calories. And this is also what I feel now. For example, like last Friday, again, I can draw you like example of ice cream, because this is what we had in the fridge. And on Friday, typically all our like food is almost finished because we shop like one time a week during the weekend, and by Friday normally like there is some food but not much left in our fridge. So there was some ice cream, and I think some what else was there, and I think there was some these corn chips. So what I had for lunch basically was ice cream and corn chips, just because I was hungry. I didn't particularly crave them, but I just wanted some calories basically to curb my hunger. But I didn't feel satisfied after eating ice cream and chips, and even when I was like physically full, and I was still like, it wasn't anything disordered, but just because I didn't have like anything I could eat like normal meal in my home. I ate ice cream and chips, and sometimes it's totally okay, but I really don't want to eat this way like every day. And this shows me that to feel full, the food has to like hit the spot, and also it has to meet your like nutritional and caloric needs and all that as well. Yeah, so it's not only about eating like the junk foods or processed food or whatever the highest like tasty foods or anything. Yeah, so to feel full, yes, you need to have the physical fullness. Yeah, but also to feel like satisfied, you have to eat the foods you really crave, and at the same time eat like nutritious foods as well. I don't mean like every meal you have to eat like a complete meal with like carbs, fats and protein, but in a course of a day or a week you want to have like all kinds of foods. And this is how I keep my hunger in a normal level, and this is how it doesn't require me any willpower, any attention to control my eating. And that's why I'm able to not obsess about foods, because I eat all kinds of foods. I eat like junk foods or processed food if I want them, but I also eat like so much whole like nutritious foods like fruits and vegetables and grains, and yeah, and I'm satisfied with foods. And while I was searching about this subject I wanted to talk today, I came up this like a quote from an article, and I wanted to read it to you. So, the urges to eat from the mind should be avoided. One should eat according to the signals of the body. And to me this is very interesting, because this quote says basically, I think at least, like, do not eat emotionally, eat for the physical hunger reasons. But this is not exactly what I believe in, and certainly it's not the case from my own experience. Like intuitive eating, it's not only listening to your stomach rumbling and eating, or when your stomach is empty, or when when you have like a headache, or you feel like lightheaded and you feel this like physical hunger. But I also think that there's nothing wrong with like emotional eating. Here I don't mean binge eating, because binge eating is not of course like normal, but just like eating for the emotional enjoyment and really enjoying your food and leaving the table with like feeling happy. And also with another woman we discussed the difference that her eating when she still has eating disorder and she's like in recovery, and my eating as I'm like now recovered, but I can totally relate to like where she is at the moment. And I told her that I went to eat in some like Indian place and we had food, and I was very hungry, so I ate like a big portion of like Indian food. But after I was finished, I felt so happy. I felt like satisfied. I just felt happy. And this is how normal eating feels, and this is how you should feel. I don't feel only like the physical fullness, but I just feel like emotional fullness. I feel like happy and satisfied and content with foods. Like I eat exactly what I want when I want. But her eating, like eating disorder, was more like when she ate, she felt less guilt. But when she ate in her like eating disorder mindset, she felt guilt. After eating, she felt stuffed, she felt shame, she felt like she has to burn it off. And I had all the same things. So this is very different. And by normal eating, I want you to feel like physically satisfied, but also like emotionally and mentally satisfied, to feel like you are not restricting anything, you don't apply any control, and you just trust your body. So I hope this video was not too rambly. Yeah. So you can always tell me what you think, and there is like so many more other things I want to talk about, but I don't want to make this video like too long. Yeah, so I hope you really like this video and give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel. And also on my website I am writing articles, so if you haven't checked out my website, please go there, and I have more useful information that I don't talk about maybe on these videos. And yeah, so thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.